George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation, celebrating people we feel good about. This Thursday, December 1st, is World AIDS Day. And we've got some guests from Syracuse Community Connections F.A.C.E.S and Jules program to tell us about a big event happening this week. All right, first of all, we've got Kimberly Smith. She's a community outreach planner for F.A.C.E.S and also the director of the F.A.C.E.S programs. And Jules, I don't even know what Jules is, so you'll tell me what that is. We're also joined by Yolanda Flowers. Yolanda, I'll begin with you. Let's talk about F.A.C.E.S. We know that F.A.C.E.S, what I know about F.A.C.E.S, I'll tell you what I know. You tell me what I need to know now. Okay. But obviously F.A.C.E.S does specific outreach to our communities, Black and Brown communities in particular, around HIV and AIDS awareness and prevention. But you're telling me it's much more than that now. So let's give us an update, because I was thinking that it's been a while since we've had this conversation on the program. So I'm very happy to have you both here to talk about this very important issue that still has a pretty high impact in our communities.
Absolutely. F.A.C.E.S, as you know, exactly what you said. We are still prevention. We're still education. When I said we're more than HIV. We are health awareness. We help in our Black and Brown communities, the importance of knowing your health, knowing your status. So I know it's important to know about breast cancer or colon cancer, or knowing now rampant our community now is COVID, knowing your COVID status. Well, we are an organization that help bring awareness to knowing your health status. So we're saying knowing your HIV status, knowing your STI status, so you can live a healthier life. Yes, we know that COVID has taken people's lives because of but we also understand that as we get along, that we have underlying health issues. So if we know our health issues, we know our status of that, then we can become more healthy holistically. So that's what I mean, that we're more than just HIV. Because I know a community for years, and I was telling them when I first came on board, is that I was a young girl, a teenager, when I used to go to the Southwest Community Center, and it was F.A.C.E.S, HIV and AIDS, and it was such a pandemic, such a stigma in our community that causes people to say it's a death sentence. And right. Now it's not a death sentence. People are living longer lives if they get the informative information that gives them that awareness to say, I can live longer if I take my meds. I can live longer if I'm getting the proper information in terms of prevention and getting on PrEP, so that we can be more in tune in our bodies, in our minds, and in our health.
You know, and like COVID has probably overtaken everything, right? Because of the mortality rates and the impact, particularly on our community. But are HIV and AIDS rates increasing, staying the same, or decreasing in our community? Where are we statistically?
Statistically, they're saying we are, in our Black and Brown communities, HIV has increased. But it's not just increased with HIV status, but we're increased in STIs. So that means the sexual behaviors has increased tremendously, so which STIs also
are sexually transmitted what?
Sexually transmitted infections.
Infections, okay.
Yes. So if those numbers, gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, all those things have spiked up, then now you're prone to be exposed to HIV.
Right, right. Those sexually transmitted infections increase your risk factor for contracting HIV and then full-blown AIDS. Quickly, the difference between the two, because we're still confused. I shouldn't say we're confused. We're not confused. But I just want to reiterate the difference between HIV and AIDS. You want to do that? You want to do that, Kimberly? Because Yolanda feel like she's been talking too much. Go ahead.
For HIV, is the human immune virus, and the AIDS is the I always get tongue-tied. I'm sorry.
Right. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome, right? So HIV is the indicator that you could get full-blown AIDS, and full-blown AIDS is the actual disease. So you could be HIV positive but not have AIDS.
AIDS,
yet.
correct.
Okay, so I just wanted to, I'm just doing that for the folk that may not know the difference. All right, so what is Jules?
Jules is when we say Black and brown people, it's more geared towards or target populations that dealing with just females between the ages of 13 to 35. So we just focus on just those women, those young ladies in the Syracuse community.
I know at one time Black women had the highest rate of HIV infection. Is that still the case? Have we done better with that?
I think it's still the same. I think they're finding more in our African American males.
Oh, males, not the women. Okay, so maybe I'm sorry.
Now, with the statistics, now is
now. Okay,
yes.
There was a point where
females are still more sensitive to receive it quicker than males.
Okay, all right, and so with that awareness, you got a big celebration coming up. And I guess it's a Is it a celebration? Is that how you?
It is a celebration. It's a celebration because for those who have invested in being healthier, we want to celebrate them. For those who are saying, I'm going to be responsible and accountable for my health. And in that, they're living longer with HIV. So we want to celebrate them. But we also want to take a moment of silence for those whom we lost to the virus.
So you're on the street, Kimberly. What are you seeing in terms of people being receptive to the messaging? Give us a bird's eye. Is bird's eye view? Give us an on the street level view of the work that you're doing and describe the work that you do.
So for me, being the community outreach planner and educator coordinator, what I do is I go out to the different businesses and organizations and companies and let them know about the days that whatever event that we're having, why we're having the event, who the event is for, to either give them a flyer, to let them tell their employees about it, or when I go out into the neighborhoods, I also go out for donations from the companies where these people, spend their money, so they can be a part of the event. Going out into the community, talking to people, letting them know that Jules and F.A.C.E.S is still at the Southwest Community Center, which is now the Syracuse Community Connections. Letting them know that the service is still there, letting them know that the service is free, letting them know that they can come to a safe haven when they want to talk to someone about being at high risk because of their sexual acts, or even just wanting any type of protection, or if they need some place that they need to go, that they need help with, and they don't want to go to their own physicians. Sometimes, just like I said, people do have insurance, and some people don't, but a lot of time people have insurance, but they don't want to go to their own doctors because they want to go to somebody that don't know them or don't know their family. A lot of times, I try to tell people that the kids, it's not that they don't want to talk, they're ashamed, they don't want to be judged. So when they come to us, they're not being judged. They're just being given the information that they need and sent in the direction that they need to be sent to so they can be taken care of. So my message is, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
So my message for them and for anyone is that this is a safe place for you to come to for information that you're looking for or you may need for your health.
And World AIDS Day is a day that we raise awareness for HIV and AIDS. And so you've got a big event, 6 to 9 p.m. this Thursday. December 1st is World AIDS Day worldwide. And so on Thursday night, you've got a nice program. and I understand you've got some food. What you got on this for this? I heard I could get a plate.
Yeah, you can. You are always welcome to come on by. The program is going to be from 12 to 6.
12 to 6, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yes, it's going to be from 12 to 6 this Thursday. All are welcome to come on out. Come on out, get some food. Yes, we are feeding.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a variety of dips of like chicken wing dips, spinach dip, other kind of dip, I dip.
Yeah, you got all kinds of food, but you got programming too, right? You got speakers.
Yeah, well, yep. Yeah. So we'll definitely have information for them if they would like. We're not forcing any, this is us giving back to the community to tell them thank you for trusting us with their information.
Sure. And it's all right. And of course, people can people get an HIV test on that day? Because I know there was a big movement to know your status, and the only way you can absolutely positively know your status is to have an HIV test that tells you your status, right?
Correct.
And I think it's important for us to say that in this era of COVID, because many of us have had multiple COVID tests, right? But when was the last time that you had an HIV test?
Correct.
Now, you might say you're not having high-risk sexual activity. You might say that you're not an intravenous drug user, right? You may say that you're not in any of these high-risk categories where you're having unprotected sex, right? So you might say all of that. But the only way you can know your status for sure,
that's it right there,
is to know your
HIV test. Absolutely.
That's right. Now, the test, is it still, there's various tests, right? So what is the test right now?
Right now, it's a 20-minute test. It's just a finger prick. They put it on the culture and then they give it 20 minutes and then you'll know your status. It's just that quick.
And will you be doing testing that day?
If someone there wants to be tested, we won't mind having it.
Okay.
Yep. They can get a test that day.
And it's free.
Free.
It is free.
And I went off the top of my head with the high risk factors for HIV and AIDS. Would you just remind us what makes you at risk for HIV and AIDS? STI is one. What else?
STI is one. Having multiple partners. Just not knowing your status. Just you can get it by a needle. Right. You can get it by any translation of blood.
Blood. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
or fluids.
Or fluids, bodily fluids. That's right.
Yes, bodily fluids.
Bodily fluids. All right.
You can't get it. You cannot get it by a handshake. You
or
cannot get it by a hug. You cannot get it by kissing, unless there's sores in the mouth and there's both person are if there's open sores in the mouth, then if there's people exchange, then that's the only way. But other than that, you cannot get it by handshake or a hug. So that's why people have to get away from that, the myths of things, and just knowing that you can still hug someone that does have HIV. You can still shake somebody's hand if they have HIV, and you don't know. And that's what the judgmental piece of it has to, stigma has to go away, is that you don't know what it looks like.
Right.
You can't walk up to somebody and say, oh, you got AIDS or you have HIV. You don't look, they look normal people. So you got to treat people like they're human beings, because we are all human beings.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, Wendy Alexis Modesti, and she used to, she had this column she wrote, and it was called Untouchable. And this is this idea that people did not want to hug her, right? Mm-hmm. Because she was a HIV AIDS activist. She ended up not surviving the disease, but she was certainly a well-known proponent of testing and activism, and she was really out there in the community. So help the community on this Thursday, December the 1st, for a celebration for those living with HIV and AIDS and those we have lost to the virus. There'll be a moment of silence, and there'll be some community celebration with food, dance, music, and fellowship. 12 to 6 p.m. at the Syracuse Community Connections Southwest Community Center. We always going to call it Southwest no matter what y'all
That's
call
right.
it. The Southwest Community Center. That's what we're going to call it, no matter what. And that's at 401 South Avenue in Syracuse. If people want more information, what number do they call?
They call 315-671-5835.
That's 315-671-5835, where Yolanda Flowers and Kimberly Smith are there to help you and the community prevent HIV and AIDS. World AIDS Day this Thursday, December the 1st. Thank you all for your time and continue the good work. And I'll leave it with this. Know your status.
Thank you.
Inspiration for the nation.